Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Stephanie Michaels, and I think today would be a great day to show you how I write my songs. So, a lot of my films are improvised, actually, and a lot of my songs are also improvised. But every now and then, I do actually write the lyrics before I record them. And so, when I do write the lyrics, this is typically how I do it. So I write and produce all of my songs, and I'm going to show you the behind the scenes of how I came up with the serpent beguiled me. Okay, so typically, um, sometimes I get the lyrics before I get the beat, and because I produce all the instrumentals, I produce everything myself. Um, Sometimes, most of the time, I get the instrumentals, the harmony, the melody before I get the lyrics. And sometimes I get both at the same time. I get the melody and then I get the lyrics at the same time. So it just depends on the song. In this case, so because this is a soft metal, so you guys have heard of death metal, right? And death metal music is very scary sounding. And so I don't do death metal, I don't even listen to it. Because I'm a very lyrical person, and if I can't understand what someone is saying in a song, the song to me has no meaning. So I don't understand death metal. Therefore, to me, death metal music has no meaning. But I do soft metal, which I think is a genre that I invented. I don't think there is such a thing as soft metal, and if there is, I don't know. So uh, I like the metal genre in terms of how the instrumentals and the melodies are composed and arranged, but I don't like what they say and how they perform it. And so that's why I came up with something softer that has a metally vibe. However, and a metal in the terms of how I decide to perform the lyrics. Okay, so here is how I pretty much practice my songs. So this song begins with the words "I always believed." Okay, so I always believed you would come, you would come and save me. Right. So I always believed you would come and save me. I figured I prayed. I figured I prayed. I tithe. I think twice. Okay. So I always believed you would come and save me. I figured I prayed. I tithe. I think twice. My Lord, my God, my Lord, my God, don't forsake me, please. Now, here's the thing about Christian music. A lot of Christian music doesn't have any deep meaning to it anymore. And the reason for that is because not a lot of people that sing Christian music are actually Christians. And so the reason my songs, which are Christian based, tend to touch people is because people can tell when you're being authentic and real and vulnerable and truthful versus when you're just singing a song that doesn't touch you, that doesn't mean anything to you because you don't really believe in what you're saying or singing. So, the reason why my songs tend to touch people deeply is because they can hear it in my voice. They can tell this girl is not pretending to believe. She believes what she's talking about. Okay. And it bleeds, it leaks. Your belief is hard to hide. You can tell when someone is pretending to be a Christian versus someone who's a true believer. They can fake it for a while, but the real you eventually comes out, whether you like it or not. Okay, so when people hear this song, it touches them because they can tell it's sincere. All right, so my Lord, don't forsake me, please. My Lord, don't forsake me, please. Okay, so I say this twice. Yes, don't forsake me, please. There's something very powerful in Christian repetition. You know, just like Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 times. Why do you think Jesus would do that, right? So after, um, I don't know if it was after, but Peter denied Jesus 3 times. And Jesus asked Peter 3 times, "Do you love me? If you do, feed my sheep," right? So there's something very powerful in Christian repetition, saying the same thing over and over. It's also how it's really the best way to teach a child a new language, also, just repetition, right? Yeah. So, okay, I always believed you would come and save me. I figured I prayed, I tithe, I think twice. My Lord, don't forsake me, please. My Lord, don't forsake me, please. Remember me, my Lord. Okay, we say this twice. Remember me, my Lord. Okay. And then here is where we go into the realistic part of human nature. So, again, a lot of the reason why people say Christian films are corny. If you've ever watched a generic Christian film, you probably felt, wow, this is so corny. And it's the same thing for a lot of Christian music. It's very corny. And the reason for that is because it's not made by real Christians. When a real Christian makes a song, you're going to feel it deep in your gut. It's going to convict you because that's just how powerful the Word of God is. That's just how powerful the truth is. The truth cuts through all the noise, it cuts through political correctness, it cuts through every lie, it cuts through everything. Same thing when a true Christian who's been battle tested, who's been persecuted for their beliefs. When a Christian like that makes a film, it cuts through everything. It gets you deep in the gut and you can feel it. And so when when you make a Christian film and you try to make it so holy and perfect and everyone in the movie says, "God bless you, have a nice day, blessings," that's not realistic. In the real world, that's why the Bible is so powerful. The Bible is powerful not because everyone in the Bible is portrayed as a saint. The Bible is powerful because it talks about all kinds of people. It talks about the murderers. It talks about the gay people. It talks about the thieves. It talks about the killers. It talks about the pedophiles. It talks about everybody. All walks of life are in the Bible. The Bible is an X rated book because it's so honest. Okay. And so when you make Christian films and songs, typically the fake Christians, they try to make a PG, very, um, how great is thy Lord? Sing with me, how great is thy Lord? Yeah, except real life is messy. People are scared, people are angry, people are depressed, people are going through a bunch of crap, people are abandoning their beliefs every day, people are going through financial strain, people are going through all kinds of things. And sometimes the last thing a person wants to hear is, "How great is thy Lord?" Okay. Realistically speaking, from a psychological standpoint, if you were to tell the mass majority today that the world was ending, okay, if you were to, if the president said there's a meteorite coming towards Earth and we're all going to die in 16 hours, what do you think most people are going to spend their time doing? They're going to say, well, if this is how I'm going to die, I'm going to party to death. Okay? That is how the average person, I'm telling you, okay, this is just basic psychology. If you told people they had 1 day to live, or 1 hour, or 2 hours, or in 24 hours they were going to die, do you really think that they're going to spend their time taking a nap or being good? Okay. The only people that are going to fall on their knees and pray are the true diehard Christians, because that's just how we are. We give God the glory even in the midst of our own destruction. But the average person doesn't think like that. You tell people they're going to die, it's going to be chaos, okay? Some people are going to rob every store, others are going to party. Most people are going to like engage in a huge orgy. There'll be orgies all over, all up and through this place, okay? So you tell people they're going to die, they're not going to become the best versions of themselves. Actually, they'll become the worst versions of themselves. They're going to have a bucket list of all the things that they've been restraining themselves from doing, they're going to do. Okay. So that's just human nature. Okay. Because they're going to, their attitude is, well, I'm dying anyway. Why should I waste these 24 hours being good? Okay. Might as well do all the things that I've restrained myself from doing. So that is the point of this song. As a Christian, we don't we don't pretend not to understand humanity. We understand it, we embrace it, and then we feed it right back to you. Because I understand, if you believed you were dying, it's highly unlikely that you would fall to your knees and repent and humble yourself to God. More than likely, you would do the exact opposite. You would say, if this is how I'm going to die, I'm going to party to death. I'm going to party to death. And party means something different to each person. Okay, party for you could be smoking weed and passing out. Party to the next guy could be having an orgy with 20 different women or men or both. Party to the next person, it could be, party to you is whatever it is that you felt you've always wanted to do but could not. Okay? So that is what we're doing here. Okay? And this is people feeling like, you know what, you've left us behind. You left us all. You left us all behind. Okay? So this is not about the rapture. This is not about any of that. This is just a deep feeling of abandonment. When you feel like God has abandoned you, has left you behind, has forgotten about you, which is why I said, remember me. Remember me. Okay? And this is a cry. This song is a cry. It's a cry out to the Lord. Remember me. Don't leave me behind. Don't forsake me. Do not forsake me, please. Okay? And this is a very real thing. Every true Christian feels this way at some point. Even Jesus on the cross, he had a moment where he said, "Oh my God." If Jesus himself can say, "You have forsaken me. I feel forsaken by my own daddy," you know, and this is coming from Jesus on the cross, feeling forsaken. How much more us, human beings? We don't have nearly the connection to God as Jesus had to God himself. So we all feel this way at some point, but um, that's just a feeling and that will pass. So it's a very honest song, and it's a truthful song, and that's what makes it so good, is when a true Christian writes the real stuff instead of just talking about how great God is. We are humans living a human experience, and it's messy. A lot of times we feel betrayed. Sometimes we feel sad, angry. And it talks about how the coming of the Lord is not going to be a party, contrary to what people think. The second coming of Jesus Christ is actually described in the Bible as the day of doom. Okay? It's a day of doom. It's not a party. It's not fun. It will be very sad for people that are going to hell. So It's not a glorious event for most people because very few, very few follow Christ. The majority, okay, the majority of the human race goes to hell, okay? Because people don't want to sacrifice for Christ. They don't want to die with Christ. Nobody wants to pick up their cross and follow Christ. That's not a Hollywood thing. That's not being promoted in society. Society teaches you to follow the majority and to be anti-Christ. That's what you get taught every day by the media, by your schools, by your friends, in your job. You're taught to be anti-Christ. You're taught to hate Christ. From the moment you're born, you're taught to hate Christ. You're not taught to pick up your cross and follow Jesus and forsake all. Okay? So the majority goes to hell. When Jesus comes back, it will be bad. It will be very sad for the majority of people. Only the few who go against the majority, the few who go against nature, because it's in our nature to be bad. It is our nature to be anti Christ. So to follow Christ means to go against yourself, against your nature. You have to be born again. It's deep, y'all. It's very deep. You have to go against because your first nature is evil. We are evil by nature. We are born bad. To follow Christ, you have to go against your first nature and be reborn. You have to go back and start over. You have to be reborn. Okay? Twice a child, once an adult. You have to go back, sweetie, and be reborn and have a new nature. You must have a new nature. And this new you is the only version of you that is capable of following Christ. Because to be a friend of the world, wow. To follow Christ is to hate the world. You have to sacrifice your need to be loved by this world. And you must embrace hatred of the world. This world will no longer understand you when you become born again. Because you have a different nature. You are too different, sweetie. You are the opposite now of the world. Jesus is the opposite of Satan. And the world is satanic. That is why there is so much friction between those who are reborn and those who are still living in their first nature. There will always be friction between the few who choose to be reborn and those who remain in their first nature. Wow. Being a Christian, I'm just telling you the truth, sweetie. Being a Christian means to deny yourself. It means to pick up your cross, and be like Christ. The world will hate you for this. Okay? Because the world is satanic. And Satan hates God, but wants to be like God without giving him credit or credit. Yeah, so that's the deep root of everything. Okay? What is your nature? To serve Christ, you must abandon that nature. Serving the Lord is going against the grain. It's swimming uphill. It's walking uphill. It's always uphill. Okay? It's uphill. It is difficult. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Okay? Heaven will not be packed. Heaven will be a very beautiful experience, everlasting experience for the few who choose not to fear Satan. I hope you've learned something from this song. Have a good day.